Alright, this is Pac Man 2. This is a handheld electronic game made by Entex in 1981. Entex was a pretty popular maker of handheld battery-powered games in the late 70s and early 80s. People actually considered them the king of electronic games before Nintendo took over with the Nintendo Entertainment System. But this is a battery-powered Pac Man clone, again made in 1981. When Pac Man was released in 1980 by Bally Midway, lots of toy companies saw potential in creating battery-powered portable versions of the game. This was one of the first. Entex was one of the first to make a Pac Man clone in a portable handheld. So the name Pac Man 2 denotes its two-player capabilities. There is no Pac Man 1. But you have your player 1 controls here. There is a single-player mode, just like regular Pac Man. And then you have your player 2 controls here. And we have 3 switches here. We have a switch for off, on with sound, and thankfully on with mute, which is what I usually play this thing with. Because if there's one thing about these old handheld games, it's that they have very loud, annoying sounds, so it's great that Entex put a mute feature there. You have skill level 1 and 2 for when you're playing in one-player mode. Skill level 2 just makes the ghosts go faster as you progress through the mazes, otherwise they just stay the same speed in skill level 1. And we have there should be mute there, but it wore off, and this is supposed to say demo, but it's also wore off. Before you turn it on, you set this switch for one-player, two-player mode, or a demo mode, in which it plays the one-player mode by itself. So, I bought this thing on eBay. I paid a premium for it. I paid about $50 for this, and by God, it was worth it, because this thing is in almost perfect shape. This is over 30 years old, and really the only blemishes on it, besides the worn print there, is a little, if I get in the light right, you can see a light scratch right there, which you can barely see, and it's definitely not noticeable when you're playing the game. It's not even over the actual play field, but alright, I never knew that this would actually be one of the most difficult videos I've ever filmed. It's about 2 weeks later, and I had a very severe problem filming this video. I did successfully film it, but it had a very severe problem that made the video almost unwatchable, and I'll go into that in a minute. So I'm refilming this part of the video 2 weeks later, and hopefully I cover everything as I did in the original filming. Now, if you're interested in this stuff and proficient in electronics, like me and like YouTube user UXW Bill, you may have already realized minutes ago that this game has a very large vacuum fluorescent display. Many of these games made from the late 70s to about the mid 80s used bright, colorful, vacuum fluorescent displays. They made for really great gameplay. It's the reason these things were not so cheap back in the day. This particular game retailed, I believe, for $48 or $50. But yeah, games you buy now based on these dinky little black and white LCD displays, they're nothing compared to these old games that have these big, colored, and in many cases, including this game, multicolored vacuum fluorescent displays. Some of them were based on LED displays, and some were based on LCD displays, particularly smaller, cheaper ones. But ones like these, you know, they might only play one game, and they might be old, but it really is the display that makes that gameplay so enjoyable. So that's really why I wanted one of these handheld games, something with a vacuum fluorescent display. It's quite novel. So the problem that I had with the original filming of this toy was, because of the way vacuum fluorescent displays work, they do have flicker that is unnoticeable to the human eye, but extremely noticeable to some cameras. And the flicker was just so severe filming with this camcorder. It made the video completely unwatchable. It was not up to my standards. I just scrapped it all, and I'm doing it over now. And I think I've found a way to rectify the problem. Hopefully it'll work. If not, then I will switch to my Canon, film with that, and see if that helps any. But I think I've got the problem figured out, and I can continue to use this camcorder. So there is a few parts from the original filming that are still good because the game wasn't turned on. So I'll be switching back to them, and I think there's a part I'll go to right now from the original filming. So there's the side of it, and you've got an AC adapter jack there. We have a sticker here, Pac Man 2 instructions. Copyright 1981, Entex Industries. Manufactured by What's It There. And it does take 4C batteries. 2 battery covers here. Luckily both of them came with the unit. I made sure of that, of course. And I don't really know what to say about how well the battery life is. When I first got this thing, I first used carbon zinc batteries in it, and they lasted for perhaps a few hours of gameplay. But these alkaline batteries I have in it now, I'll tell you this, I bought them back in October, and now it's February, but I haven't played this thing since probably December. But they've lasted definitely a long time, and they still have tons of life left in them. So probably a good, like, I don't know, maybe 8 hours of gameplay, 8 or 10, 12 hours that you could get off a set of alkaline batteries. So not bad at all. Of course, the biggest power sucker in this thing is the huge vacuum fluorescent display. But alright, so how I've gone about rectifying the screen flicker problem in the original filming is that I'm going to activate the night shot mode on this camcorder. It's not actually called night shot, that's Sony's name for it, but whatever JVC's name is for it, it's going to increase the shutter speed. It's not going to be the prettiest video you ever saw, but it's going to rectify the screen flicker problem, and hopefully it'll make the video overall more watchable. So I'm going to turn it on right now. And should brighten up in a second. There we go. So now, without further ado, we will turn it on. And there's that beautiful colored vacuum fluorescent display. So you're greeted with a blank maze here. And I'll tell you what the indicators at the bottom of the screen are all about. You start off with 2 extra lives. And there is a third extra life you can earn when you score 1,000 points in the game. We have 2 indicators here, S and A. S on the left means that we're in single player mode, and the A on the right means we're on skill level 2. And then we have a set of 3 indicators scrolling across here. Depending on what indicator is lit when I press the start button determines how many ghosts I can play with. The skill level of the game is extremely customizable. Between skill level 1 and 2, you can actually choose how many ghosts are in the maze with you. If I press start with that 1 dot on the left lit, I play with 2 ghosts. If the 2 dots in the middle are lit, I play with 3 ghosts. And if the 3 red dots on the right are lit when I press start, I play with all 4 ghosts. So the maze is a bluish green in color. It looks more blue on camera. The power pellets, there are 4 power pellets in the corner of the maze. They're also the same bluish green. The regular dots are red, and Pac Man is red, and the ghosts are the same color as the maze as well. So 2 colors, a bluish green and a very bright, almost kind of a scarlet red. Now, there is a very cool website on the internet. It's called handheldmuseum.com. They have a database on almost every single one of these vintage handheld games ever made. They have a database of all sorts of vintage handheld games of every type. from the first ones made in the early or mid 70s to ones made in the 90s, and games of all types of display technologies, vacuum fluorescent, LED, even some LCD games. And it really is a great website to learn about these things. Of course, that's how I learned about this thing, actually. And they also have a forum there, and part of the forums is a list of high scores. Users on the forum can post high scores that they've made in a game, and there is a master list of the user with the highest score in a particular game. Well, yours truly, Trent the Maritime Man, holds the record high score for Entex Pac Man 2. You can go on the website and you can see my score there. It's about double the score of the first high scorer, who also actually challenged me. He said he was going to beat my high score and make it hard for me to beat him again, but he hasn't yet. So yeah, I'm the high scorer of this game, and that's pretty funny. So another thing I want to explain is that this game does have a way of telling you how many mazes you have completed in the time that you have been playing. So if I get a flashlight here and you look at the bottom of the screen, there's a series of triangles, and then there's a square, and then there's some smaller triangles. This works like a number system. Each small triangle is 1. The square is 5. And each of these big triangles is 10, until you get to the last 2 triangles on the left here, which are actually red, whereas the rest of the shapes are blue. These leftmost 2 red triangles each mean 100. So, for example, if there was 2 triangles, the square, and one of the small triangles lit up, that would mean I had completed 26 levels and I was on level 27. 20 for the 2 triangles here, 5 for the square, and 1 for the one of the small triangles means 1. So technically there's a capacity here for 299 levels. So certainly plenty of room, plenty of play time for even the most advanced, the most professional Pac-Man player. So a good many of these handheld battery-powered Pac-Man games have been made since this one was introduced in 1980. In the mid-1980s, Coleco had their own, I believe it was called simply Pac Man. It was actually licensed by Midway. Coleco licensed it and made it look, it was like a little mini arcade type thing. It was the shape of an arcade cabinet. It had a red and yellow vacuum fluorescent display. And it is the favorite, it is the favorite Pac Man game among collectors. Just because of the cool cabinet style. It by far has the most annoying sounds ever. It's this extremely loud whining noise. And just search on YouTube, just search Coleco Pac Man, watch one of the videos, and beware of your ears. Lucky for this thing, the sounds from it aren't nearly as annoying, and I can even play it muted. But Coleco's own Pac Man handheld, based on a VFD, definitely the most popular ever. They go for a premium on eBay. Good working ones go for as much as $100. Also in the 80s, the toy company Tomy released another game, also simply called Pac Man, although I don't believe it was licensed. I believe in other countries they made it and named it Puck Man. It was also based on a vacuum fluorescent display, but it is, in terms of gameplay, it is by far the worst handheld Pac-Man game ever made. It had a tiny little maze. It had 18 dots, 2 ghosts, and you could only eat the dots going to the left. Its only redeeming qualities besides the display is that it looks pretty darn cool, and it has among the least annoying sounds. It just makes a clicking sound. Another one I'd actually like to get someday, is Bandai's Pac Monster, and this one was sold under a bunch of different names. It was called Pac Monster, Pac-Re Monster, Gobble Man. There were 1 or 2 other names for it. It has a 3-color VFD display, red, green, and blue, and it also has a small maze, but the gameplay is still pretty good. It still has 40 or 50 dots. But it is pretty much ubiquitous among vintage game collectors that this one right here by Entex has the best gameplay of all the vintage Pac Man games. It has the largest maze, the most dots, there are 80 some dots, and the gameplay is so customizable with basically 8 different skill levels, 2, 3, or 4 ghosts in skill level 1, and 2, 3, or 4 ghosts in skill level 2. And even today you can buy battery-powered Pac Man games based on these crappy little black and white LCD displays. I remember back in the mid-2000s, I was looking in the Sears Wish Book, that's the Christmas catalog if you don't know, and I remember seeing a handheld Pac Man game based on a backlit color LCD display. It was made by a toy company called MGA. It was called the Color Effects 2 Pac Man, and I remember I thought it was so cool, a backlit battery-powered color LCD display, and I wanted it. It was $15. I never got it. I got a lot better stuff though, so don't worry about that. But I see them on eBay. There's a few of them on eBay, and they sell for relatively high price considering what they sold for new. Used ones sell for 15 or 20 bucks. But I'd like to get one of them someday. Get a toy that I remember wanting almost 10 years ago now. So, what we're going to do now, I'm going to set the camera on a tripod, and we are going to have a game of this. And I've done a little bit of practicing, so hopefully I haven't lost my touch and I'll be able to make a decent score. My record high score is something like 4,110 points around there. So hopefully I can get near there and you guys can watch a good game happen. And might I add that this will be the only video on YouTube, and the only video made in the world, quite literally, that'll feature a full gameplay of Entex Pac Man 2. So let's get to it. Alright, so I have the video camera set up on a tripod here. Just a little fun fact for you video editing buffs. The video you're looking at right now has been turned upside down. This is so I can be on the opposite side of the camera, and everything is still oriented both for you and for me. I can play the game right side up, and you can see it right side up. So I hopefully have all the camera settings optimized so that the screen does not flicker, and at the same time it's not too bright. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in right about there, do some minor tweaks, zoom in a little more perhaps. Alright, and we're going to play in the dark. I'm going to turn the light out to make the effect from the awesome vacuum fluorescent display as cool as possible. Turn the light out here. Alright, so we will turn the game on. Let the camera adjust itself. Okay. So we're playing in skill level 2 with all 4 ghosts. This is so that if I beat my high score by any chance, then I'm eligible to actually have that announced. You have to play on the hardest mode possible to be eligible for the high score list on handheldmuseum.com. Which, by the way, if I haven't mentioned it, you should check out that website because it's really pretty awesome. So, what I do is I press the start button when the 3 red dots on the bottom right of the screen are lit. And we begin. Get a little musical score and we're going. Each red dot is worth 1 point. Haha. The power pellets are worth 5 points. And the ghosts are also worth points when you eat them. Oh yeah, just got 3 of them. All 4. That's awesome. Cool. The first ghost you eat in a session of 1 power pellet is 20 points. The second ghost is 40 points. The third's 80. And the fourth is 160. You can see the score being added when I eat the ghost. Notice a little kind of chomping sound when I eat a dot. Haha. Oh, this is awesome. I'm doing good. And we'll finish her off. Level 2. Alright, so now I'll show you the other modes of this thing. You can see the game we just played is still up here on the screen. After a game is finished, the microprocessor, it pretty much just says, alright, hey, good game, I'm out of here, sayonara, and the game completely freezes up. There's no button you can press to do anything. The game is frozen. The microprocessor has shut itself down pretty much, and all you can do is turn the game off and turn it back on. So, for 2-player mode, turn it off. We go to 2-player mode, and we turn it back on, and the game will start immediately. So, player 1 is Pac Man. Their goal is to eat all the dots and complete the mazes, just like always. And player 2 plays upside down, and they have to they control the ghost, they try to get Pac Man. See, I can move the ghost around. Turn around. And move the ghost here. So that's pretty much 2-player mode. And I guess how you do that is you switch places after the first person playing player 1 loses all their lives and the game ends, and whoever gets the highest score is the winner, I guess logically is how it would work. Now I'll show you the demo mode. The demo mode is pretty much the exact same as the player 1 mode, except there's 2 differences. It plays by itself, obviously, and after the computer player loses all their lives, nothing changes. The game just keeps playing with a negative number of lives. It just keeps playing and keeps dying over and over and just keeps playing. There's infinite lives. So that's pretty much the demo mode. Now here's a secret mode that does a display test. I found this out accidentally, and when I accidentally did it for the first time, it scared the crap out of me. But what you do is, you have it in demo mode, you hold down the player 2 start button, and you turn it on, and you get a display and sound test. And then it just continues in the regular demo mode. Now I'll demonstrate the mute to you just for giggles. Very convenient when you want to play, pretty much all the time, because very few people in the world want to listen to this thing bleeping over and over. You can just barely hear it. If I hold the camera up to the near where the buzzer is, you might be able to hear it just ever so slightly beeping. But the mute's definitely very cool. So, that's pretty much all there is to show of the Entex Pac Man 2 electronic handheld Pac Man game from 1981. Not really handheld, more I guess you'd call it a tabletop. Entex introduced these in 1980, and I believe they were discontinued in 1982. If you want one of these, they're fairly common. There's usually a couple on eBay at any given time. But they do they do fetch a pretty penny. Like I said, I paid $50 for this one, which is 99% perfect in every single way. And that's about what you'll find good working units will go for. Sometimes someone will get lucky and get one for 20 or 30 bucks. This came from Great Britain, by the way. It came from Great Britain, which is pretty cool. But yeah, you know, it's a long video about a toy, but I think it's a very cool toy, and it's just so cool with that vacuum fluorescent display. And I'm a big fan of Pac Man, and I just think this is totally cool. I do really like playing this. So that's all there is to show of Entex Pac Man 2, and I surely hope you enjoyed this video. There we go, we have two indicators there, S and A. S means we're in single player mode, A means we're on skill level 2. And then you see this, wow. I'm not sure how to handle the, let me see.